This album is very important to me. It's definitely the most, I think I searched for a long time. My 20s were all about like just like expressing whatever came to mind. There was not as much sort of like thought and practice in it. And I think that, I really earned my 10,000 hours. And then I had to take a seat during the pandemic, as we all did in kind of our own ways. And it really made me sort of evaluate what I really wanted to do and who I really wanted to be. And so this album is very, after a lot of painstaking thought and care and searching, this album came to be. And I wanted it to feel the most me, the most loud, the most proud, the most sort of confident version of myself. Because I think sometimes you can trick yourself into being confident by acting confident. It's like I wanted to reverse psychology myself into being this like new larger than life version of myself. And some days I feel like that. Some days I'm like, oh my gosh, all my dreams are coming true. I'm so powerful. I'm so amazing. I can't believe it. And then like 2.5 hours later, I'm like in a ball being like, I can't do it. Life is too hard. So I think it's very, I think it's a cool experience now to be hearing songs that I have written that are like maybe doing what they do for my fans as well to me. Do you know what I mean? I'm like singing Blow Out My Candle and I'm like, oh, I needed this today. Like, I feel really grateful for that this music is something that is very inspirational to me as well. Like, it's kept me going a lot. I don't think I've ever had that experience before with other albums. I'm proud of every one of my units and like I love all my children for sure, but this feels a little different this time, which I'm ready for different. It's been 10 years. I love the ebbing and changing of creativity as it grows. So it's my first time in Dublin ever. And I love when my work takes me somewhere that I have never been before, because that's sort of, I think, the plus when you are kind of thinking about the life that you're going to lead and you're like, cool, I'm going to like miss people's birthdays and I'm going to miss holidays, but I'm going to travel the world. And with the pandemic, obviously I didn't get to travel the world anymore. So this is like the first big, we just got back from Australia. So that was our like first official, so we started in Mexico City, which I also have never been there in November. We just got back from Australia and now we're heading over to Europe and the UK, which I'm like, nervous but excited because I haven't been in front of fans in another country or in Europe in a long time. And I think the show I really believe in it. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of like, I've played a lot of shows for people who are not my fans. So people who've never heard of me. And that's great because that's how you get fans. And you show up and you're like, here's who I am. I'm giving you the razzle dazzle. But I'm excited. Tour means that there's people who bought tickets to come see me. And that's my, the warmest room. My favorite audience to perform in front of is people who like know what they're going to get and want it, as opposed to people who are halfway through the show being like, do I like you? And I'm like, yes, I'm working so hard up here. Like, I really hope you were going to say that, I think our choreography this tour is the best it's ever been. I think that we have worked like incredibly hard to put together this massive new show. It's been a long time since we've sort of done this ground up kind of build, because we've been pulling from so many other shows for so long. So this is like really, I think, a new level. I think that hopefully when you watch me, you'll be able to see that I've been doing this a long time and I really know what I'm doing at this point. That's how it feels now that I'm out there. But it will be sweaty. Wear your dancing shoes. That is always my number one. No high heels allowed, ladies. I want you to jump, or boys. I need you to be out here living, giving in your comfortable clothes. This record is the record that it has come out on the most, that I've really tapped into it the most. I think that the depth of queerness is really, the well goes so deep for me, obviously. And so it's like easy to write songs about just like generic love. And like, it could be a man or a woman, but it's also like, I'm trying to get really specific with songwriting now. So one of my favorite songs to perform on the record is a song about me being obsessed with all of my best girlfriends and how I want to date all of them, called I Can Be Your Man. And that to me is like, when I perform that song, the energy that I feel inside of myself, the confidence, the like joy that I feel representing that part of myself, which maybe like hasn't gotten as much representation through my music before, feels really powerful. And once I kind of realized that, I'm like, oh, I want to talk about all the stuff that I feel, not just like stuff that I think everybody will relate to. Like the more generic I made it, the less I actually felt like I was impacting people. So now I'm getting like super specific and being like, this is a song about this really wild part of my queerness. That's like, I'm always out here just trying to kiss my girlfriends. And it's like, cool. That's what a fun character and world to build and bring people to. And so I think you'll feel so much of that in the show. My mom looked at me a long time ago when I first started making music, and she was like, okay, how are you going to help? And I was sort of like, what? You know, I'm like 21 and like just signed a record deal. And I'm like, Mom, this is my moment. Shut up. And she's like, no, like, if you have a voice, you're going to use it for good. What's your thing? I don't care what it is. It could be the planet. It could be, and there's so many causes and there's so many things, you know, and it's like, she was like, pick something that feels like it's the most authentic to you, that you're going to care about and you want to like give your time and energy to and give your voice to. And I never really I wasn't like, cool, now I carry the torch for the queers. It was more just that I looked around at my shows and I was like, oh, it's so obvious. Like, it felt so organic to me to then like partner with the Trevor Project when I sell a ticket, you know, and $1 of that ticket goes to the Trevor Project. It's like, that's something that's so easy. And we ended up raising, you know, over 10 grand just from $1 of every ticket. It's like, and I'm not even that big of an artist, you know, it's really, it's so easy to do things that really impact lives. And I really think it's important, especially for like comically. I don't know. I just feel like I've been really blessed, and I have such a gift of my life, and feeling like I can be safe in being who I am. And I know that not every, especially queer youth, are people that I feel very like protective of and want to create an environment and community for. And so I think that's why I love the Trevor Project, that it's about kind of like keeping queer youth safe. Cause I was lucky enough to go to performing arts high school where like everybody was gay. And if you were straight, it was like, whoa, that's weird. You know, it's like, that's such a different environment. And most people don't get to have that sort of safety to experiment and find themselves and be comfortable with who they are. So, it's like such a no-brainer to me. And I only wish to do more. You know, I think that's something especially as I get older and hopefully richer, you know what I mean? If I get richer, then I just get to give more money back to the community. So that's sort of the plan that I have now.